Hello fellow paranormalers, welcome to this channel and this video. I have an interesting subject today, and it's kind of esoteric in nature, but it's something that I think personally that I see a lack of really in a lot of paranormal related people, okay, which I think is important because we are talking about and dealing with a non-tangible entity, which is the paranormal in general. From a psychological point of view, you can't have limiting beliefs about the paranormal if you want to be a good paranormaler or a good esoteric person, or involved in that kind of thing. You have to very much get rid of the assumptions that people make, the misunderstandings. You know, it's the thing I can liken it to is obviously a little bit of history about the psychology of children. Unfortunately, when children are very young, up to the age of about 5 years old, they don't have any filters. They don't have any preconceived ideas about the world, what they perceive to be the world that's around them, tangible or non-tangible. Which is why they very often can see spirits really, really easily, and they can see things which scare them, which they don't like, and we can't. You know, very often adults can't. Not me, but you know, adults can't. The reason being, as people get older, children, especially when they start seeing things and say it to their parents, if their parents are not, or any adults are not open-minded and aware of what's going on, they dismiss it. They try to make out that the child doesn't know what they're talking about, that they're imagining it. You know, it's all in their imagination. Those things don't exist, blah, 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 blah. What adults don't realise is that what they're doing is they're conditioning their child, their children, to kind of put filters on their psychic abilities in their head, as it were. And so as the child gets older and older, they have layers upon layers upon layers of it's like shells, filters, you know, put around the head all the time, and put around that part of the brain which is open. You know, call it what you want, the third eye, the pineal gland, or whatever it is, the psyche, whatever you want to call it, becomes encased in a hard shell of filters. And then, of course, because those filters are there, they don't allow anything in. Very often they don't let anything out either. So it becomes very difficult for their brain to accept anything beyond the outer shell of this limiting belief system that they've been brought up in. This is what you have to crack. You have to get through it. You have to dissolve this shell in order to become sensitive and aware of what is going on beyond the physical realm. It's difficult for me to see how an awful lot of people in the paranormal world can be open to what goes on around them so much, because they've got all these filters on them. So, you know, a skeptic, for instance, a skeptic person to me a hardcore skeptic is someone whose kind of filtering system around their brain and about their thought processes is so thick, they do not want to get rid of it. And it doesn't matter what's put in front of them, they will not accept it. They don't want to. I've seen these people. I've met these people. I've spoken to these people. I deal with these people. And you just have to accept the fact that their barrier, the kind of filtering shell that's around their brain, or their receptive brain on that kind of level, is just so thick. That's their comfort zone. They don't want to get rid of it because they want to stay a skeptic. People who are not skeptics, I believe, have either got very thin sort of shell about their brain, or they don't have it at all. These are people that have kind of erased it, got rid of that, and accept it. Now, this is my opinion only, and I welcome anybody's feedback on this, but I do tend to see a lot of people still don't have that. They haven't eroded that filtering system still. They're still walking around blind, as it were. They're going through the process of what they think is doing, let's just say an investigation or a paranormal session, but they're not really, they're not seeing beyond the box, the hardware, the responses. Not that there's anything wrong with that, if that's what people want to do. We go back again to videos I've done before about people's purpose. What is it they're doing? I've done several of these videos now, sort of questioning what it is that people are doing. Do they really know what they're doing? Do they have a purpose to what they're doing? They're just kind of going through the motions. And this is why I think that there's so many of the same thing all the time. There's so much of we're going to copy the TV, Ghost Adventures or any of these other, Most Haunted and all these other TV shows, because people want to just copy stuff. The shell around their brain just wants to copy things. It's that's why we've got so much of it in the paranormal world. We don't have enough open-minded people, I think. We don't have enough there are very few, as I keep mentioning this, and I'm sorry if I sound boring, but I follow a lot of people on YouTube and a lot of people on Twitter and such like, and there's a handful of people that I can probably name, actually, that I feel genuinely in tune with, because they've opened up their minds to what it is they're really doing. They're sensitive to what's going on around them. They know more than they know, if you know what I mean, about the paranormal realm. And I guess that's just never really going to change. It's just the way things are. But anyway, if anyone wants to learn more, I'm quite happy to discuss sort of the psychology and the processes about getting rid of those presumptions, about breaking down that kind of shell filtering system, taking that away. That's what I do with people. So it is a long process. It is a long process, because if it was a quick process, then you can't just go round with a hammer and just go smash and break it all up, because that's just, people would just have a breakdown. You know, it has to be done gradually. It has to be done in a way that the person you're doing it with feels confident enough to do, and congruent to allow me to help them to do it. So, you know, but yeah, thank you very much for watching another ramble, and I shall see you again soon in another video.